me there on a journey. Give my heart to some people when I'm worthy.
Welcome to my channel. This is Janielle, and I am doing so many takes right now, but this is kind of part three on getting to know me and, discussing a few other topics here. So, from my anger issues to growing up and what my focus has been based on, my backstory, I mentioned, I inserted a clip from, my eyebrows look crazy. I inserted a clip from Supergirl on my Instagram, and I will also insert it in the video. I wanted to make sure that I insert it in the video.
Here's the thing, Kara. Everybody gets angry. Everybody. And there is no pill that will eradicate this particular emotion. I know this because if there were such a pill, I would be popping those babies like Pez.
Miss Grant, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry about
You
before.
apologize too much, which is a separate, although not unrelated, problem. No, this is about work and anger. Whatever you do, you cannot get angry at work, especially when you're a girl.
Oh, thank you. I'm actually still working on my first one.
Did you want another one? When I was working at the Daily Planet, Perry White picked up a chair and he threw it out of the window because somebody missed a deadline. And no, he did not open the window first. If I had thrown a chair, or my God, if I had thrown a napkin, it would have been all over the papers. It would have been professional and cultural suicide.
Then what do you do?
Well, you need to find a release. You need to take up some boxing or start screaming at your housekeeper. But the real key, Kira, is that you need to figure out what's really bothering you. For example, I am so furious with my mother, so I took it out on you, and you're so mad at me. And this is the important bit. You weren't really mad at me.
Actually, I kind of was.
You were really mad at something else. And you need to find that anger behind the anger. And you need to figure out what is really making you mad.
So I inserted the clip from Supergirl because I wanted to highlight that sometimes we have issues and it's like I'm the only one going through this, or you feel so alone and there's really no one to talk to. But this is why I'm so obsessed. Like, I'm a homebody. 9 out of 10 times I'm a homebody, and I do love watching TV, shows, movies. Netflix, everyone knows Netflix is watered down, but I absolutely love um, inspirational shows and movies. And I also have been drawn to Turkish dramas in the past 4 years since COVID. Since COVID, I have been hooked on Turkish dramas. One of the best ones that you know what? I'm going to save that for another video. But yes, one of my favorite homebody activities to do is, lounging around, watching shows and TVs. And I used to tweet about how much I watch TV, after coming in from work or on my downtime, tweet about how much I watch shows and TV. And I used to get a lot of backlash, like, do something better with your life. And, but it's like what you find enjoyable. You have people who fear flying in getting into a plane. You have people who fear traveling long distances. I don't fear any of those things, by the way. But it's not like I haven't experienced a foreign country. And yes, I have every intention of traveling if God allows in the future and if life permits and the finances are there. But it's just not a driving as much as a driving factor for me presently, as much as I would love to like own my own home. In fact, I would love to buy a piece of land and build my own home. And this is coming from in the past two videos, as you've watched, I've explained the way I grew up. I grew up in a broken family, and I had to move here and there. And the living situation with my mom, or the living situation with my dad, it was a whole house full of siblings, and we were always on top of each other. And sometimes I just needed my space. Even like at school during my lunch times, sometimes I literally had to stay by myself to just, have peace. I need that as someone with like short temper and anger issues, and like just sometimes it's not even about the anger. You're not just angry. There's pain there. There are emotions that I need to work through on my own, and just like think about it and determine what's going on inside of myself. And this is also very therapeutic for me. Sometimes I really don't talk, and people will be like, "Oh, you don't communicate," but strike up a conversation. If you don't strike up a conversation with someone, very generally, and you have to like tread lightly. You can't just be aggressive with someone and expect them to respond to you in a courteous manner. And sometimes, even myself, I am aggressive, and if I realize, I will tone it down. But you can't bark, 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 bark at people all the time and expect that they will have a reasonable or, sound conversation with you. Anyways, I'm straying from the point, but the way I grew up cultivated this desire in me more than anything. If I never leave this country that I was born in another day in my life, I would be totally grateful if am, I would be totally grateful and satisfied if I am able to own a nice little piece of land, fence it around nicely, and build my house from scratch that can house myself and my family, like my family that I create, right? My children, my son, and that's the biggest dream that I have at the moment. There's so many other things. Like when I was 19, when I was 20, when I was in high school, when I was a teenager, my dreams were um by 30, which I'm going to be, oh shut by uh, let me not burst the back. By 30, I want to be financially independent and not have to work for anyone. By 30, that was my goal, to not work for anyone after 30, to retire myself and early retirement and things like that. That's not looking too possible right now. Either way, it's fine. You take life as it comes, and I wouldn't say mistakes. I have had a lot of setbacks that have caused me not to be able to achieve certain things by that timeline that I had given myself. And those setbacks are only things that were caused by me because I lost focus, right? And I think one of my issues with that is I was always pouring into other people. Like I said, as a child, when I was living with my mother for 5, 6 years, I don't remember much before the age of 4. So I felt like when I think about it, when I sit down and analyze my life, just like how you go to a therapist and they, ask you certain questions to determine where these issues are coming from. When I was a child, between 5 to 10, and I lived with my mother, I think we had a codependent bond, me and my mother. And when that was severed when I was 11 and I had to return to my home country to live with my father and his children and his family, I think that severed a really close bond that I had with my mother. And then it's like we became strangers. So it went from one extreme to always being with my mother to a completely different extreme where um, she was not physically present. And that was the time, 2005 was the time when there wasn't WhatsApp, there wasn't video call. You had to buy minutes to, whether you were overseas or in Jamaica, you had to buy minutes to call people. So contact was not frequent. Letters would be sent and things like that. Oh my gosh, letters. What have I done with the letters? Wow. Okay, so aside from that, so yeah, communication with my mom and things like that, that just really um, cemented into me the need for wanting to have my own home. So more than anything, as much as I would love to travel to Hawaii and Turkey and Australia and see other countries and other cultures in the world, my biggest dream um, presently is to own a nice piece of land and build from scratch and be able to develop that to house my family that I have created for myself. And I think that comes from not having the family structure that would have been best for me, right? And I think I'm able to see people really well. I think I have that empath gift that I'm able to see people really well. And even though people feel like they deceive me, I deceive myself by believing that let me try and get this. I'm sorry. I deceive myself by believing that what I believe is not correct, right? So I also realized that I have had, you know, a lot of failed relationships, and it's because one, I settle. I settle for people that I get along with, and I don't have a long list of requirements. And the term easy might even be used, but trust me, I'm a very tough cookie. And the thing is, when people get to know how strong-willed I am, they run. Okay, so I can't build with a weak person, and I really don't mind building by myself. I really don't. I really don't mind building without. That was the plan initially, right? But sometimes people come into your life and they're not looking to build with you, they're looking to tear you down. And even if it's not tear you down, they're looking to just take. They're looking to just take. They have no intention of turning flour and water and yeast and just letting it grow, or taking a seed and, letting it flourish. That's not their intention. So if someone's intention is not pure, you cannot you're not going to get the results that you want. So the best thing I can do for myself, is focus on that goal, and hopefully my YouTube journey will show evolution. And I wish, this is why I wish I had started 10 years. If I say I regret something, there are at least two regrets that I have. I cannot say the second one yet, but one regret that I have for sure is that I did not start YouTube 10 years ago. And the biggest fight I would have had would have been my mother. I'm not sure if you watch Dale Elliott and all his funny jokes and things like that. I think, and I did try YouTube once with my son's father, with my older son's father, my oldest son's father, and my mom saw the video. She thought we were being hype, and it was literally just shopping in the supermarket. She thought we were being hype and said we should take it down. So I think there were reasons for me not starting it then. And aside from that, I was living alone. And when I was living alone, I was very fearful of the outcome of that. I was very fearful of like vlogging, but I could have done videos at home too. And what I thought about was like I would become more known. I feared becoming more known and then being more recognizable and being more targeted. I was robbed, my phone was stolen, and like no one knew me. These weren't like someone targeting me per se, but I had so many like traumatic experiences within just going to work and coming from work and not living any type of extravagant life that I was just fearful of starting before now. And now I am a lot older, and that fear is not as significant. I do see a lot of YouTubers post about negative things that happen to them, but I do think that I'm able to stand my own much better now at this age. And I'm so sorry if this video seems so dead, but it's just like I'm trying to stay on a path and then like explore different areas. All right, so my biggest dream right now and aspiration based on how I grew up is to purchase a piece of land and build my own home. And I hope that my channel is able to grow to a point where I can do that, and not just relying on my channel alone. Of course, I am doing other things personally, even though there's so many setbacks, but that is for another video. That is for another video. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Um, I'm not going to say tomorrow, but I will try to do my best to post as soon as possible. Please send emails with ideas of videos that you might want to see. But for now, it will be sit down videos. Within this 30 days, most of the videos will be sit down videos. And if you have questions or if you have scenarios that you want me to give my opinion on, just send them to my email, jannielsjourney@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram and message me. Right now, my account is private. When I clean up my account a bit and when my followers go up a little bit more, I will make it public. But I'm just trying to limit the amount of interaction that I have. And there's nothing really, anything top secret on there. I just don't want, you know, my entire life to be just all out there. But yeah. All right. So thank you for watching. Have a good night. Bye.